What's up, guys? Coach MANdler here, Team Swole Patrol. Hey, right off the bat, I want to apologize for sounding like shit. This past weekend, I was out offshore fishing with my boys, and a little too much drinking, not enough sleeping, and now I sound like this. Sound like I've been a chain smoker for a couple of years or gargling with a bag full of dicks. But nevertheless, got a kick-ass Flex Friday for you today, doing some sub-maximal heavy work on the bench press and following that up with some high volume, hypertrophy and GPP work to bring up our weak points for the bench press, as well as to build that muscularity that we're going for to have that perform good and look good combination. And before I get to today's routine, I want to answer a quick question about heavy benching. And that's that question, and the one I commonly get is, how often do you max out? See, whenever I do any max effort work, and whenever I schedule it into my training regimen, it's not necessarily going to be a 1 rep max every time I get under the bar. See, what myself and a lot of other performance-based lifters like Olympic lifters, power lifters, and strongman competitors do is train their max effort work in waves. They do this, for example, by taking all of their core lifts. Let's say if you're a power lifter, squat, bench, and deadlift. If you're a strongman competitor, you're going to just do maybe your deadlift, your squat, and your overhead press. And if you're an Olympic lifter, snatch and clean and jerk. You're going to take those and you're going to train in waves of max effort work. So for instance, for me, what I like to do is go from a 5 rep max wave and work my way down to that peak of hitting that 1 rep max. So for 1 to 2 weeks, I'll do a 5 rep max, then I'll work my way down to that 4 rep max those next couple weeks, then 3 rep max, then 2 rep max, and then you have that 1 rep max that you shoot for. Now this does a couple things. Number one, it's going to teach your nervous system and body to be able to fight with heavier loads with proper form. You're going to get better time under tension and be more accustomed to feeling heavier loads and be able to manage them more efficiently. The other big thing it's going to help you do is to prevent yourself from overtraining or overloading your central nervous system. Here's the deal. If you train at or above 90% of your 1 rep max in your core lift for more than 2 weeks in a row, what happens isn't that you're going to increase your 1 rep max. Believe it or not, it's going to have a negative effect. You're going to see diminishing returns. It's just too much for your body to handle. So you're going to see a downward slope in performance. So working in waves like the 5 rep max to that 1 rep max is a great way to make sure you're continuing to get gains in strength. So hopefully that helps out. To answer your question, how often do I get a 1 rep max? It's typically going to be once every 5 to 8 weeks, depending on how often I'm training heavy and with how many core lifts I'm throwing in there. But hopefully that helps out. Now let's put it into action. Today we got a kick-ass max effort training day for the bench press, like I said. So without further ado, let's get started on it. All right, kicking this routine off, I'm going to start off a little differently. I'm going to show you some of the actual core activation work that I do before even my priming sets. This is just a fantastic way to wake up all the muscles surrounding my spine. Rectus abdominis, transverse abdominis, your obliques, pretty much everything required to stabilize your spine, activate your core, and make sure that you have good energy transfer from your lower body to upper body. Whenever we're doing our core lift, regardless if it's an upper or lower body movement, it's a total body movement when you're doing it correctly. Whenever I'm bench pressing, I'm getting good activation from my hips and getting good pop from my hips, as well as relying on the primary movers in the upper body. So this is just a great way to really activate those muscle fibers in the core. And after that, that's when I get into my actual priming sets. These are going to be the speed and explosiveness development type exercises that I use
to activate more muscle fibers I'm going to be using in the core lift directly, as well as focus on hitting that same movement pattern so that I can move fast and explosively while recruiting a lot of muscle fibers for the core lift, which today is going to be a 3-rep max on the bench press. This is probably, I'd say, about 4 weeks out from when I'm going to hit a 1-rep max attempt on the bench. So just, kind of middle of the road here. Now, one of the things I want to point out to a lot of you out there that have been following me the past couple of weeks and know that I'm trying to cut down a little bit, get a little bit more ripped up, is that whenever you do that, you should expect a little dip in your maximal strength. Right there, 365, when I'm just trying to bulk up and get as strong as possible, that goes up for 5 to maybe even 8 reps. And, whenever you are trying to lean down a little bit, expect your maximal strength to go down and shoot for just trying to increase your relative strength, your basically your weight to strength ratio. And that's how you can kind of rationalize working more of that kind of balance of strength, size, and muscularity gains all at the same time. And right after that, just to get more time under tension, I did 80% to failure on that that last set there. And from there, it's just the typical weak point training while building more of that size and muscularity. This is a really cool complex I do. Love doing these, high rep. Pick a low weight when you're doing these because it'll eat you up and you'll just completely wreck yourself on the first set if you try to go too heavy. But 5 reps per arm at the top, then 5 reps per arm at the bottom, 5 reps together, then lateral push-ups. Great little complex to increase size and strength in your shoulders, your chest, and triceps as well. And then, of course, when you're doing this in that circuit format, getting that heart rate up high as hell, you're increasing that metabolic rate, which is going to dramatically affect your body's ability to burn more fat, not just throughout this training routine, but at rest too, which is definitely what we want to shoot for if we're trying to, get more ripped up without losing too much size or strength. That metabolic conditioning is far superior if you have that mindset, trying to increase all of those at the same time versus trying to just do typical cardio to get ripped up. It's a must. And just to finish today off, just going to stick with a body weight finisher. This one's pretty simple and standard. Just doing 3 rounds of this ladder set of push-ups and inverted row. Like I said, very simple. Just doing a horizontal push superset with a horizontal row or a pull variation or exercise. So just a great way to finish things up, further increase your work capacity, work on those weak points, and ultimately get that heart rate up so that you're burning fat and getting that ripped and shredded look while also building more of that strength and size that you're looking for.
Hey guys, if you dig today's Flex Friday routine, let me know about it by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the future tips and routines I'm going to be hooking you up with here. And if you're trying to figure out a better way to program for not just your strength, but the ability to match it up with more muscularity and the overall ability to look good and perform good all at the same time without hitting any pain in the ass plateaus, and do yourself a favor right now, pick up a free copy of the muscle building blueprint that I put together for you by clicking on this button right here. If you're on a tablet or on a cell phone, don't worry, you can get it still for free by simply going to the description area of this video right now and clicking on the first link that you see. When you do that, either clicking here or clicking down the description area, I'll take you to the next page, which breaks down every kick-ass module you're going to be getting with this free gift, as well as how it's going to help you build that ripped, powerful, kick-ass muscle mass that allows you to look good and perform good very, very quickly and consistently. So, like I said, pick up that free gift and I can guarantee you're going to be well on your way to building that kick-ass muscle that you're going for. Appreciate your time, guys. Have a good one. MANdler out.